One of my fondest memories of legislative bills was the Patient Bill of Rights. And this was a bill that I agreed to sponsor with the Nevada Healthcare Reform Project. And a wonderful woman, Annette Mills, was the president of that group. She has since passed away. Talk about a strong woman, though. Teacher for many years and a fighter. And she and a number of other strong Nevada women, Cynthia Bunch, a registered nurse, Patton Benton, they began to see an imbalance with the HMOs and insurance companies, where they were telling doctors what they could and couldn't say, where they were denying payment unnecessarily. And it kind of was a great exercise in watching what can happen in the legislative process. The bill was deemed dead on arrival when it came, because the Senate Majority Leader sat on the board of a powerful HMO, and he was seen to block it. And we had our first hearing, and so many strong people testified, and the nurses had such great credibility. Some people weren't sure about the doctors in that argument, but they said the nurse make the same amount of money no matter what. And they knew what was happening with patients. Patients came, nurses came, you name it. The room was packed and the stories were riveting. And the legislation picked up momentum and it was hard to stop. And by the time it got to the Senate, everybody already knew that this bill was going to pass. And sure enough, it did. And the insurance companies and the HMOs by that time realized they had to come to the table and begin to negotiate, and the bill was enacted. It was one of the first bills in the country to recognize patients' rights, and it became a model for the nation. It was featured in Vanity Fair. I have pictures of the bill signing ceremony, but I'll never forget that what it really did was it made a difference for people in Nevada who were getting the runaround from their insurance companies. And it was a lesson that, patients came before profits. So whether it was that bill or the coalition against payday lending abuses, that's where I feel I made the biggest difference, was in consumer protection, healthcare reform, payday lending reform, those types of bills.